You are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup COH fans, and welcome to the 14th Company of Heroes 2 beta cast, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and my good friend Tommy. What's up, Tommy?
What's up, FatalSaint? We're back here for another great Company of Heroes 2 cast. I'm so excited now that it's into the open beta and we can finally start just releasing content en masse. If you guys aren't already aware, we are streaming on an almost daily basis now over on our Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/the Frontline Network. So do go and check that out. There are links on our YouTube channel page as well, because we are going to be doing a lot of streaming, especially in the run-up to the beta, and then shortly afterwards as well. Plenty of streaming then. So do go and check that out. It is all in 1080p, beautiful HD. Oh, it's just lovely.
Yeah, I really like the quality of the streams that we managed to crank out with our computers and our internet speed right now. But today we're going to be taking a look at a normal standard replay, and we do have a 2v2 on the best 2v2 map, in my opinion, Moscow Outskirts. It's really good. I played a few games on stream actually yesterday when I was streaming, which is when you are actually seeing this replay and this shoutcast, it will be last week, basically. But I played with Predators and Spanky, and every time I got Moscow Outskirts, the games were just better. I don't know why, but this map is awesome. I like it really much. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fun games on this one as well, and I believe this game is actually going to be quite an epic one with pretty tight VPs and going on for a little while. So I think you guys at home, get yourself settled down, and I think we'll crack on.
Yeah, we're on for an amazing ride. It's an all-stars game. It's Symbiosis and Anthrax, both from the All-Star clan, taking on two other clan members of All-Stars. And who are they fighting against?
They're going to be fighting against Mr. IronCross and Mr. WarBringer.
Mr. WarBringer. And Symbiosis and Anthrax will be taking on the Austria side of things, while their opponents will be playing the Soviets. You ready to go, Tommy?
I'm ready.
At the 5-second mark, unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I am deliberately actually following the Oster now, because last shoutcast I was following Soviets, but also mainly because I have a pretty solid build for Soviets. I kind of know what units to build, you know, how to tech and what to do, etc. But when it comes to Oster, I'm always kind of like trying to figure out what would be the best way to tech. What should I do? I've been trying to do the Pio spam into tier 2 thing, and it's just not kind of working, because if you're playing against a good opponent, he will get a sniper. Every sniper shot on your P-grams will be 60 manpower down the drain. Very expensive, and after a while you just find yourself without manpower or no income when you get a few units on the field, and I'm not getting it to work. So now I'm trying to go back to good old tier 1 builds, and both of the Oster players in this matchup are going for tier 1, so no funny business.
Well, in my experience so far, and admittedly I haven't played a whole lot of COH2 games in the sort of the recent past, but my experience was always that in terms of going for Germans, I did a little bit of the Pio spam into tier 2. It was a lot of fun in the alpha. For those of you that weren't around for the alpha or didn't play it, there was the armored car, or rather the scout car upgun, used to be extremely powerful. Because it would be able to just absolutely wipe. It could beat a T-70 in a head-to-head fight, and it would also absolutely destroy all infantry. So all anybody ever did as Ostia was just rush for the scout car, get an upgun, and win straight away. And that sort of turned into the Flammenwerfer rush now.
Yeah,
but
it got replaced. It kind of got replaced. They nerfed the AC against infantry. So if you have a scout car and don't upgrade it, the MG on the scout car is really good. It's very effective against infantry, especially conscripts, which are fairly weak. But if you upgun it, it becomes a counter to light vehicles like the M3 half-track. So if your opponent goes for M3 half-tracks with flamers in it, or snipers, for example, if you need something to be able to quickly pursue it, get a scout car, upgun it, and then you will rip the light vehicles to shreds. Even they can still tango with T-70s. Not as powerful as they were before, at least that's what it feels like to me, but they're still very good against M3 half-tracks, for example.
Yeah, I believe they nerfed their penetration slightly, so they couldn't actually beat a light tank, which always seemed a little bit silly. But they are definitely still designed as anti-vehicle, and there are a lot of Soviet light vehicles, and as you say, stuff like the half-track and the scout car. They are really sort of prime targets.
We do have some interesting builds from the Soviets, it seems. We did have a Gren MG Gren build from Symbiosis, and I also saw that his teammate Anthrax went for an MG opening, and he also has a mortar in his arsenal and 1 grenadier, so that's his 3 tier 1 units out so far. But I see penal battalions. I saw a sniper from... Which one of the Soviet players was that? From WarBringer, actually starting with a sniper and now has an M3 half-track with snipers in it.
Some really interesting stuff. I'm already interested now, seeing what IronCross is doing here. He's gotten himself a penal battalion over here on the right-hand side. A penal battalion virtually unseen, in fact, in all of our COH2 casts so far, because they're quite expensive, and but they do come out of the tier 1 building.
Yeah, but
Slightly more
conscript
viable
comes
these
out of
days,
the tier 0 building, so I think everybody just goes with conscript because it's just easier.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the conscripts, they're right there, and they're quite cheap, whereas the penal battalion are slightly more expensive, but they do come with the ability to upgrade with a flamethrower, and a flamethrower on a 6-man squad, needless to say, is extremely powerful.
Yeah, and as far as I'm aware, the rifles that the penal battalions actually have is not the same as the conscript rifles. They have better accuracy, as far as I know, and do a little bit more damage. I'm not exactly sure 100% on the stats, but it seems like they still have kind of the same health as the conscript squad. So the platform is still weak, but it's a little bit stronger when it comes to DPS output.
We have snipers out from both players now.
Yeah.
Yeah, both players going for the sort of an early sniper build. Sniper now garrisoning that scout card there. Very a sort of a strategy that was found out very early in the alpha to garrison your snipers. Whoa, but that Panzerfaust did a lot of damage there. Actually killed one of the sniper crew women.
No, one of them actually died due to the Panzerfaust hitting the M3 half-track. That was very interesting. I've never seen that, actually. And I do believe that Anthrax is trying to pursue him. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not following him if he was out of munitions to fire that second Panzerfaust. We did have a scout car go down with a full team, actually, before. But we do have that was from WarBringer. He lost his half-track and his sniper team inside of that half-track. So it was a very early loss for him. And Symbiosis made a massive gain, only losing, I think, 2 or 3 grenadiers on his 2 Gren squads. An LMG upgrade on one of his grenadiers, and the left-hand side has been completely abandoned, basically. The Axis team capped down to the fuel, but didn't go for the VP. So VP-wise, they are draining, but they are capturing the right-hand side. We do have Anthrax over there trying to combat. Is that IronCross on the right-hand side?
It is indeed. He oora'd to try and catch up with an MG that was rushing to grab this building here, but wasn't quite able to beat it there. And now the MG's gotten into the building, opening up a point-blank range on this poor conscript squad, doing a lot of damage there.
Symbiosis at the same time is extending on the left-hand side. He sent a 2-man Gren squad, which he upgraded with LMG before, to go over there and cap, and there's basically no opposition over there. We do have conscripts now out from one of the Soviet players, WarBringer, going over to the left-hand side to try and stop that. And combined with his sniper and a new M3 half-track now, he's got some more offensive capability again. But he did take that extremely early loss of a half-track and a complete sniper team. It's a lot of manpower down very early in the game, and that might actually, in the end, maybe cost him the game. If those snipers would have produced a more of a manpower hit against Symbiosis, it might have been a completely different game from the beginning. But right now it looks like Symbiosis is just extending his front line closer and closer to the enemy base.
IronCross used a penal battalion inside a scout car here to do some good damage to this MG, actually decrewing it, leaving it there abandoned in the field there, so a good chance for some friendly conscripts to go and pick it up. But so far, it looks like it's been a very even battle. Both sides really just fighting along a sort of a front line in the center.
Yeah, we do have a sniper in M3 half-track from WarBringer, just taking out Gren after Gren of Symbiosis' army. He is reinforcing from the half-track, however. I'm not exactly sure if he's waiting for that last bit of munitions to be able to upgrade it. Yep, he's going for the Flammenwerfer upgrade on his half-track now.
So it's all quiet on the Western Front for a moment here. Both sides lick their wounds after an extremely bloody first couple of minutes. And now we are about to see the first blizzard setting in here. So it'd be interesting to see what the players now do, because obviously the way that blizzards have been implemented has changed a little bit. One of the main things you'll notice is, of course, that it's a lot easier to see through blizzards now, which is one of the best changes that Relic made to blizzards.
Yeah, it's
but also
kind of snowing
fires,
from side to side.
Yeah, it's sort of they've slightly changed the texture and the way it works, and you can now actually see units.
Looks better,
through the
more
blizzard,
visible.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But crucially, they changed the way that fires are implemented. So now fires are a lot cheaper to build, and they're buildable in blizzards.
Yeah.
So blizzards aren't quite the death sentence to infantry that they used to be, but they are still. Whoa! What was that? The Flammenwerfer on the right-hand side, I think, just hit an AT mine. A very nicely placed AT mine, I gotta say.
That might be so. You folks would have just seen that in picture-in-picture, but we do have Pigrens actually on this left-hand side, ripping this conscript squad completely. Forced to retreat. He did throw a Molotov into the building, but it only did minor health damage to the Panzer Grenadiers from Symbiosis. And I must say that Symbiosis's play so far is very, very strong. I think what is happening right now is some form of double team on the center. But Anthrax is actually there, building a bunker with his Pioneers, and his mortar is already there as well, and he's moving more forces over to the center now to try and help out Symbiosis, which is basically only there with one sniper now, as his Panzer Grenadiers on the left-hand side of the map, and on the right-hand side he's got his 2 Grens, which just took out. Is that another M3 half-track? That must have been an M3, yeah, with the Penal Battalion Flamer in it.
Yes, that's the scout car right there. So we've got lots of bunkers here in the middle. We've got a, I believe that's a reinforcement bunker and a healing bunker as well. So it's a very strong little sort of hard point here in the middle.
Yeah, that is indeed a medic bunker from Anthrax, and also a forward reinforcement bunker from Anthrax as well. Both bunkers are owned by Anthrax, but Symbiosis has basically been forced off the center completely. I'm not exactly sure, I must have missed that, but I don't see his sniper anymore. His sniper went down, most likely got counter-sniped by the Soviet sniper. So, small loss for Symbiosis losing his sniper fairly early. I don't think it made much of a profit. It had a few kills.
No, you've got to treat snipers very differently to how they used to work in Vico. They're much more of a specialist tool. It's sort of, if your opponent is just building nothing but conscripts, penal battalion, that kind of thing, a sniper isn't generally going to be such a great investment. You're probably better off just buying yourself another MG or Grenadier.
Pigrens from Symbiosis retreat after capping the VP on the left-hand side, as there's an M3 half-track with a sniper, and another sniper team actually moving up as well. Lots of snipers from both Soviet players here. I think they might be on to something here. I think
They're trying to carve out a new sniper-based metagame.
Yeah, sniper-based team games. I'm actually gonna go ahead and try that myself, rather than play 1 versus 1 as well, and go tier 1 and maybe get a sniper after my 3 conscripts or 4 conscripts. Half-track now moving into the center. The Blizzard has passed. The Pact sees the half-track, gets a nice shot off, damages the main gun. Sniper is forced to retreat due to a very nicely placed MG from Symbiosis in the center that is covering the bunkers and covering the left-hand side. But here comes the infantry mass from the Soviet player.
This is a big push now, a very big infantry push, supported by that nasty penal battalion flamethrower. But if that MG42 would just switch targets for a second, he could shut down this entire attack.
Yeah, I think he might. I'm not exactly sure. He was firing on some conscripts, which is in heavy cover from an old P4 carcass. And here comes the penal battalion now. He might actually throw a satchel here on the MG. The MG repositions, but doesn't retreat. And this satchel is going to be huge! Takes out the MG completely. Not recruitable. The bunker is on fire. Almost destroyed out as well, but not completely. But I believe that penal battalion actually paid with their lives for that satchel charge. They died themselves in the process.
They survived.
They survived.
There's 1 man left. 1 man left holding the flamethrower.
Yeah, Vet 2 now.
To get it back. Give that man a hero of the Soviet Union, because he just did a great service for the Soviet side here, killing outright the entire crew and the gun itself.
Yeah, not recruitable or anything. The MG, the border gets recruited. A Gren gets taken out by the snipers on retreat. And here comes the Pigrans now, but basically they're just fodders to all of these snipers now. Symbiosis losing a sniper might be a bigger dent in their game than I initially thought. I thought it wouldn't be too much of a big deal, but they don't really have a good solid counter to this sniper now. Here comes the Flammer for Symbiosis, and he is after these snipers. He needs to kill them, but there is now an AT gun on the field. The Soviet AT gun gets a nice shot off. It gets Vet 2 for received damage there. But it does have a damage engine from an 18 tossed on it before, so this half-track is going to go out again, and I believe he might have taken out... Nope, the sniper team is actually just retreating, so both of the snipers are still alive for WarBringer, and there's one sniper as well, Vet 2 from IronCross.
It's a tough position for the Ostia players right now to try and find ways to deal with these snipers. Whoa, there was one... The Grenadiers actually opened up on one of the snipers, IronCross's sniper, and did quite a lot of damage at long range, but wasn't able to kill it.
Oh, nice bundle on the conscripts in cover. Kills 2 guys outright, and that's a load of health damage. And he's very low health after taking a mortar round to the face, I believe. And he's forced to retreat. Mortar now also raining down on this AT gun from WarBringer. Ooh, down to 2 men. He needs to relocate quickly.
Soviet players double teaming up on the right-hand side here, trying to push out to try and recap some of the fuel over here and recap a few of the crucial points. Soviet players actually doing quite a wraparound here. They're taking back the right-hand side, and they've gone all the way down the far left-hand side as well. So that's really going to put the pressure on capping-wise on the Ostia team, who need to sort of move out, but at the same time, they can't really afford to separate their forces because they're getting pressured so much by these snipers in the center.
Yeah, if they just leave the center, they're going to lose that as well, and then basically their whole front line is going to crumble, and they're going to have to put up a new defensive line basically outside of their bases, and then they can just be sniped out constantly until they find a proper good counter against the snipers, because if they are well defended, it's a real hard maneuver to try and get at the enemy snipers. And right now, they are fairly defended by AT guns and such, as we saw that Flammenwerfer from Symbiosis trying to go at it was not successful. They are leaving the center now. They're just basically forced due to snipers backed up by mortars.
It's a brutal combination, especially when you throw in... Whoa, the first tank of the game now. That's what we're going to throw in, is Su-85 tank destroyer out in the field now. It's a very strong tank, actually, and it has this really unique ability to narrow its line of sight so that it loses its peripheral vision, but gets a much, much longer view down the barrel of the gun. And it turns it into quite the potent anti-tank machine.
Yeah, it's a very strong tank against vehicles and, you know, hard positions like bunkers, for example, where it does quite a lot of damage. Against infantry, you know, maybe you get a snipe here and there, but it's not a very potent anti-infantry tank. It is mainly for its AT capabilities that you get one. We do have something similar on the Axis side now. You could call it a Panther.
Whoa, that's a bit of a step up, I think, even from the Su-85.
Yeah, but he's got a lot of support for this Su-85 now. Conscripts tosses an 18-8 on the Panther, which forces it back instantly. And this Su-85 now is actually hunting the Panther, not the other way around.
Damn, yeah, that one 18-8 was enough to shut down that Panther there. It's sort of a lot like Stickies in the original game. You can't rush it in while there's enemy infantry around, because you do run quite a significant risk getting a damaged engine, which is typically a death sentence.
Look at the range of the Su-85 versus the Panther here. He gets a nice shot off. He gets another shot off. It is deflected, both of them, on the frontal armor of the Panther. Very strong frontal armor on your Panther. Always keep that aimed at your enemy's guns trying to shoot at you. And we do now have some artillery out. A Panzerwerfer out from Symbiosis, which might be going down in the center here. Yeah, here goes. Did polish off 2 engineers.
Bit of units there.
Yeah.
Bit of damage on the Su-85. And it's also interesting to note there's now a mortar half track on the field from Anthrax there. Not a unit that we see too often. It is a doctrinal unit.
Yeah, I think it's at a 2 CP unlock. I'm not exactly 100% sure. I've never used it myself. I think I used it in one game, again, you know, just a training game where I was testing out stuff against the AI. But I haven't really put much other thought into that game, or that doctrine actually.
Well, I know the mortar half-track, my experience with it from Vico is that it can be a really, really annoying and very potent tool because it's very hard to kill. It's very quick, exactly, and you know, if you want to kill it, you almost have to send a tank. So you know, it's difficult to take it down without making a net loss on your investment. So it's yeah, it carries a lot of potential, especially when he's fighting these support weapons in the form of these AT guns creeping up from the Soviets.
Yeah, every time Symbiosis tries to extend to the left-hand side, he gets shut down by these snipers. But they are, you know, as they are running from the left to the center, back to the left, and then back to the center again, they're unprotected during their traveling times there. So he needs something. I'm not exactly sure where he needs to build, but maybe get a scout car and then try to catch them, you know, undefended somewhere, and then just polish them off.
So SU-85 going back into the breach there, sneaks off a nice little shot on that mortar half-track, taking it down below half health. There's another nice Panzerwerfer barrage, hits all the right points, but actually does very little in the way of real damage.
And there are 2 Panzerwerfers out now for Symbiosis. A vehicle just got destroyed, I'm not exactly sure. That mortar half-track is actually down! What killed it?
Yeah, it went down to an
SU-85?
AT gun creep.
AT gun creep. Ah, there it is at the munitions point, yeah.
WarBringer being very, very competent with those AT guns, keeping them constantly moving up. Really nice to see.
Yeah, and the Panzer is just taking long-range shot from this SU-85. It is trying to retaliate when it gets line of sight on it, because they have similar ranges, it seems like. But still, he just can't get that damaged engine repaired. Every time he tries to repair it, he gets
so close.
Yeah, so close, and then something comes to stop him along the way.
I think IronCross is just trying to annoy him now, putting down another one.
Yeah. He did have a flare used,
but he's losing a lot of men. He does get one off. There he goes. He achieves his objective. And I noticed that there's actually a Soviet sniper flare has been used to light up this area of the battlefield.
It's just around this pack, which I believe was taken out by the snipers. Oh, double Werfer actually takes out some unit. I'm not exactly sure if that was one of the snipers. I see there's one sniper back in the base for WarBringer, but the second one seems to be dead. I think he actually nailed one with the Panzerwerfer.
I think you might be right.
Well, that's always a counter to snipers, I guess. Get some artillery, that's gonna work.
Artillery, yeah, well, you know, behind getting a counter snipe, artillery has always been the favored way of countering snipers for as long as COH has been around.
Yeah, you see in Company of Heroes 1, the 105 howitzer nailing a sniper on the first shell. That happens now and then, you know, and there's not much you can do about it. If it's such a bullseye shot, that sniper is so dead.
Oh yeah, I mean that's like the rulebook 101, how to beat players who you think are a lot better than you. Just use artillery and hope you get lucky.
Yeah, throw an arty shot in their direction, and if you're a little bit lucky, you might nail something on the top of their heads, and then they're boned. Shock troops now against Grenadiers. Vet 2. I'm not exactly sure who's going to win this fight, because Shock troops are very damaged and no veterancy compared to the Grens, but they do close the distance, and these SMGs are just ripping them. A new one. Goodbye Grens,
really
but a second Gren squad. Second Gren squad now. Now the Shock troop is down to 5 men and very low health, way below 40% health, somewhere around the vicinity of 30, I think. At the same time, we do have some conscripts with PPSHs extending the front line, but they are in trouble at 1 man.
The Soviet players are really pushing it hard now. I mean, they've really got the Axis players on the ropes right now. Taking a lot of losses, and they're getting pushed back almost into their base sectors now.
Yeah, both of those their players have lost quite a lot of territories. They are actually recapping the 2 flanks now. Where is the satchel charge you're talking about?
Oh, very nice satchel charge. I love the satchel charge used by the penal battalions here. Knocking out bunkers, knocking out MGs. Great use.
Yeah, the Panzerwerfer used from Symbiosis is really good, as well as WarBringer has gone tier 2 with these AT guns, and also the squishy infantry, especially like the snipers. If they get hit by a Panzerwerfer rockets, it's basically game for that sniper squad or the AT gun. You get a nice bullseye hit and it's over.
Oh, we're about to have some fun now. The IS-2 heavy tank is now on the field. Look at the size of that thing, rolling out now from IronCross. going to be seeing something that is more than a match for that Panther out on the field.
We have had some IS-2 versus Panther battles, and it's not an outright win for the IS-2, but the Panther has quite a lot of difficulties penetrating the frontal armor. But the IS-2 has problems penetrating the Panther frontal armor as well. But combined with this Su-85, that Panther is completely outmatched.
These Panzerwerfers really aren't doing a whole lot to the enemy armor here, are they?
No.
They keep on hitting all around them, but just not really doing anything.
None of the rockets seems to be heat-seeking or whatever. They're not hitting the soft spots on these tanks. Here we go now, this Panther versus the IS-2 finds it out, gives line of sight to the Su-85 with the extended range. He can still keep firing, he needs to move it up a little bit. He's not getting the hits off. It actually takes out the mortar half-track from behind the little shed.
Oh, very nice. Very
nice. As we can see now, the IS-2 is both missing and pinging on the frontal armor of this Panther, and it stops its pursuit and starts focus firing down one of the mortars instead from Anthrax. Left-hand side has been reclaimed by WarBringer. His penal battalion with a flamer and PPSH upgraded conscripts took out some P-Grants and a normal Grand squad, forced Symbiosis' infantry squads off. We do have a recon overflight, I believe it is used by Symbiosis.
Plane
Reconnaissance. It's taking a look all over the battlefield. Oh, look at the IS-2 gunner. He's actually trying to shoot the plane down. This is something you can actually do. If you get, for example, the M5 half-track, you can turn it into a quad. And the quads will shoot down the off-map planes sometimes before they deliver their payload. And if it's a recon flight, it will cut it short. Sniper goes down to Panzerwerfer in the center. Another sniper down for WarBringer.
And a conscript goes down as well. On PPSH's.
Whoa!
Wow, what is this? What is this?
That is an off-map, I believe. Light artillery barrage, I think it was. I didn't see the smoke.
There was another 2 more squads went down there, I believe. Another squad of conscripts and a squad of engineers repairing the Su-85. So that was definitely a profitable off-map right there.
Keeps firing as well.
Even more off-map now coming down all around this Su-85. I'm loving the synergy between using this recon flight to spot and then putting down that really nasty artillery there. It might be called a light artillery barrage, but that was some of the most effective artillery I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's quite random where it lands, but it does a lot of damage when it actually hits. But we did have actually a counter-RD attempt from WarBringer's Katyusha. He was firing at the 2 Panzerwerfers from Symbiosis, but they did manage to move out of the way. It was firing at max range as well, so the spread was quite large. Incendiary off-map on the right-hand side. These Grens are not seeing it! He's not seeing it! Anthrax Grenadiers are burning to death. They're trying to get out of that scorched earth.
They
take a lot of damage.
Take that much damage, did they?
In the beginning, they took a lot of damage in the initial, the little...
This might be a good time
damage
for them to
over
use
time.
a pack on each other.
they can stand around and putting bandages on each other.
Yeah, that sounds like a euphemism.
IS-2 finds proper prey. Panzer Grenadiers without Shreks. Real prey for any form of tank. They have no way of defending themselves against armor without their Shreks.
I like how in COH though, enemy infantry, even without being armed with AT weapons, they'll just shoot at tanks anyway, you know, because why not? Maybe one of the bullets will go through.
Hit the gunner or something, you know, you never know. But this P-Grand squad surely needs to retreat. Here comes the Panther. It did survive and it's finally repaired. It actually got some veterancy as well.
Check this out. It's a Vet 3 penal battalion. Those guys are mean as hell. They come packing a flamethrower. They can throw satchels and they do good anti-infantry damage. They're really a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that flamer. You really gotta pay attention when you see flamer weapons, especially on penal battalions, as they are a bit stronger than the combat engineers, more men as well, so snipers aren't that effective against them either. But at Vet 3, I'm not exactly sure what they get. Let's take a look. Veteran C2 slightly increases weapon accuracy and provides a small increase in durability, so a little bit more survivable, and some more accuracy is never bad, especially not on their normal rifles. And then we have at Vet 3, they get even more survivability.
We've got Panzerschreck on P-Gren in the middle, takes out the Su-85.
Just caught the end of that.
It's been standing around for so long there. It crept up on it, and IronCross didn't back away in time. Got nailed in the frontal armor.
I think most of the AT guns have been taken out. So it seems that they are slightly apart from that IS-2, lacking AT now actually. They need something to combat this Panther, and I think Panther versus IS-2 is such a lengthy engagement that no one will really win unless they just sit there parked right next to each other and just let it happen. See who wins.
Yeah, I guess they have two routes out of this. They can either start amassing AT guns once again, build a bit of an AT wall, or they can start massing tanks and tank destroyers in some form.
I think the Su-85s are probably better, considering that Symbiosis is sitting on 2 Panzerwerfers still, and you know, they're very, very good against immobile things like heavy weapons, AT guns, MGs, mortars, for example. They barely can get out of the way. Unless you actually really know where the barrage is coming down. You can get small audio warnings when you're playing the game if you have some units, you know, just on your screen at that time. You know, they will warn you that some form of an artillery barrage is incoming, and then you just gotta hit that retreat button real quick.
Oh yeah.
Katyusha opening up now on the far right hand side. Is this actually gonna go all the way over to the... No, it's gonna go on the Panther.
Ooh. Huge bundle later here over here on the right hand side. We've got a squad of regular Grenadiers and a squad of P-Grands chasing down a Vet 1 shock trooper there.
Wow.
A lot of damage.
What a mortar hit on that pilot squad from Symbiosis. Went from 4 men full health, and then the Panzerwerfer, I think, just took him out. Friendly fire. Kills the pilot on
the
retreat.
Factory Sniper goes down.
On retreat.
He went down on retreat to the Panzerwerfer.
Ah, I thought he was gonna be safe. He retreated well in time. I guess not. Nice bundle in the center!
Oh my God.
That was terrifying. Vet 3 bundle, I think, from the 2 Shrek'd up Pigrans.
That was disgusting. Bit
Off map used.
Bit of a response there from the IL-2 Sturmovix coming down, strafing the ground.
Here comes the Panther now. He's after some IS-2 blood. I'm not exactly sure if he's gonna actually win this, but there is no AT support. The Katyushas opens up on it. But right now, as you can see, IS-2 has done a little bit of damage to the Panther. The Panther has done a little bit of damage against IS-2. They are fairly evenly matched. It looks like the Axis team is kind of stabilizing after getting that, you know, they were getting so wrapped around, and then they lost the center due to all the pressure from the 2 Soviet players. Right now they're trying to stabilize. They're going on the right-hand side. He did have 2 squads over there, which was eventually forced to retreat due to something which I missed completely. And on the left-hand side, Symbiosis is actually trying to regain that. He's got 2 Vet 3 Grenadier squads with LMGs.
AT-8 goes in on the Panther, damaging the engine. Now the IS-2 can come in. Panther down to almost half health.
Did have a Vet 3 mortar, almost lost from WarBringer. It was way up front, and he got caught by this flamer pyre from Symbiosis. The Panther is looking worse for wear. It's got a damage engine from that 1880 you just mentioned, and the IS-2 is still in hot pursuit. The same thing actually goes for the Axis team. I know that Symbiosis has a pack, but he brought it back to his base to reinforce it, I think, after losing 1 crew member.
Oh, and he just never brought it out into the field
No,
again.
it's coming back now, but he just reinforced in his base, so I can see it on the min-map. He's over here. He's kind of trying to move out now again. And I see we do actually have some Axis artillery on the field now, stationary Axis artillery. The LEFH-18 artillery piece. I don't think it's actually fired yet. No, it has fired because it's got 19 kills. Wow.
It's firing again. Here we go. On a conscript squad over here on the right hand side. We actually have from IronCross. He must have been saving up for this for a while. He just bought himself another IS-2, bringing it up to a total of 2 heavy tanks now. That's very, very frightening.
We actually have the Elephant unlocked for Symbiosis. He can't afford it yet. Oh, he might be actually trying. Yep, he's gonna go for the Elephant now. This will be a nice long-range counter to these IS-2. But it needs to take care and be well microed, because if he gets surged by 2 IS-2, it's not going to be able to shrug them both off. It's gonna be too much, I think, for the Elephant. It's very, very long range. Does a load of damage to AT targets like tanks. But at the same time, it is not massively armored. The armor is still very potent, but against 2 IS-2 I think it will be quite outmatched. But, you know, working together with this Panther now, second Panther out from Anthrax, this might be enough to take on the 2 IS-2.
You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
Not alone, that's for sure. The elephant is moving up.
Where is that elephant? Is it coming?
Yeah,
it's got
moving
such
up.
an insane range.
Here we go! Oh, it
oh
bounces.
My goodness, that's range.
Yeah, he did bounce, however. We did have another use of reconnaissance overflight for Symbiosis. He's going to be able to spot these IS-2, which are backing away now. And this extended line of sight he gets from that plane will allow his elephant to actually cause some damage to these IS-2, hopefully.
I think it's really cool how Relic have integrated planes a lot more into Company of Heroes 2 now, because it's sort of, planes are basically, they are the de facto method for most off-maps to be delivered now. So investing in stuff like anti-aircraft is actually viable now. In COH1, it was just like a bit of a gimmick. You know, you build a Flak 88 to kill tanks, obviously.
Yeah.
But now you could almost build one just to totally shut down your opponent's chance of getting proper off-maps going.
Yeah, getting an M5 half-track and upgrading it to a quad is really good at shooting down planes. It does a load of damage to planes and shoots them down very rapidly. So yeah, it's a completely viable strategy to build anti-aircraft vehicles now.
Oh, another shock troop bites the dust there in the center.
These IS-2 now against 2 Panthers, backed up by that long-range elephant from Symbiosis. And there's Shreks on the Vet 3 Pigran squad from Symbiosis as well. This might be, he might be going for the killing blow right now, but we do have Katyushas ready and 2 Su-85s as well from WarBringer.
It's turning into a real tank battlefield now with these 2 Panthers, 2 IS-2s, and artillery backing them up. The time for infantry appears to be somewhat over, at least from the Soviet side. The Axis seem to still be possessing quite a lot of strong infantry, but a lot of the Soviet infantry has now died.
Yeah, quite a lot of the Austria's infantry has died as well, but we do have the 3 Vet 3 squads from Symbiosis still alive. His 2 initial grenadiers are still alive, upgraded with those LMGs, which does a lot of damage, especially at Vet 3. And we also have that heroic Pigran squad with the Shreks that pursued the first Su-85 and took it out. Oh, we do have an 18-aid, I think, used on the Panther. The Vet 1 Panther gets 18-aided by a Vet 3 conscript squad from WarBringer, so he does have some highly vetted infantry left in his arsenal. But as you say, I've seen a few full Soviet squads go down, especially these shock troops. They're not having a fun time against tanks.
Worth noting, of course, at this point, that the VPs are beginning to get just a little bit low now for this Austria side. Down almost to 100 VPs now. They're just about to dip below 100. And that is the time when you need to start talking to your teammate and saying, how the hell do we break out of this?
Yeah, you know,
right now they're just trading blows.
They can't afford fighting over this single VP in the center over and over again. They are redirecting resources to the right-hand side now. I see Anthrax sending over a Pigran squad and a Pio, and there's also a Pio from Symbiosis, which is, however, forced off due to a stolen MG42 recruited by some conscripts before from IronCross. And, you know, they do have the VP, but they're not in possession of the fuel there. I don't exactly sure if they really need it, considering there is an elephant and 2 Panthers on the field. They could always get more artillery, I guess.
Nothing wrong with getting more artillery.
No, that always works, especially in 2v2s where, you know, if you get both teams, both of your opposing players bunched up somewhere, a nice RD strike can, you know, score some very nice kills. These shock troops are good on the flanks, but every time Mr. Panther shows up, they're just forced to retreat due to the fear of getting run over by the tank. Did have an attempt on a URA use on one of the conscript squad in the center to try and stop the cap of that middle VP, but they did get it.
Both sides trading grenades, Molotovs for a rifle grenade. Neither side really doing a whole lot of damage to the other because they are both Vet 3.
None want to retreat.
Extremely durable.
Symbiosis didn't want to retreat as he would lose and the decap would start on the VP, and obviously the Soviet player didn't want to retreat either because he wanted to decap it and win, because the Austrian team now down to 89
Whoa!
VPs.
IS-2 goes out of control to the Elephant and explodes in fiery glory. Elephant claiming his first scalp.
It's a very nice kill for that Elephant as well.
You know, the Soviet players are really getting quite attrition, at least from IronCross, who I'm following. He's down to just 5 units now. One of those is an engineer squad. He's got 1 MG, a shock troop, a penal battalion with a flamethrower, and his half-health IS-2.
Oh, we have 2 Peregrine squad from Symbiosis on the left-hand side VP, and there's a PPSH upgraded conscript squad that goes down. It was completely unvetted, brand new squad, I believe, but it does go down to the 2 Peregrine squads attacking them. So now the Axis side is reclaiming all 3 VPs in their possession. Right-hand side has been claimed by some Peregrines from Anthrax. Middle was claimed by some repairing Pios after chasing off all of the Soviet infantry and killing one of the IS-2s. And left-hand side, double Peregrine squad attacking that side, killing outright a brand new conscript squad. Look at them huddling around the fireplace, cloaked in the deep snow, in the blizzard. Is this another IS-2 which is brand new?
This is another IS-2, yeah. He brought in another full health one, so he's back up to 2 IS-2s again. 2 IS-2s coupled with 2 Su-85s, coupled with Katyushas and various assorted infantry. Whatever infantry is still survived, at least. There is this one heroic penal battalion, now looking at 31 kills right now. Still packing that flamethrower, still packing those satchel charges. I'm hoping to see those guys bring home the heroic medals.
Used, but I believe the plane just crashed. Or is it a
that sounded an awful
Stuka
lot
bombing
like a
strike?
plane crash, didn't it?
It was a Stuka bombing strike, and I'm not exactly sure where it went down. I think I don't know where it destroyed.
Oh, a big strafing run comes in. These Vet 3 Penal Battalion charging straight into the center here. I get the impression they're just a tad outgunned going up against Panthers.
Yeah, tad. They have nothing to retaliate with. No AT weaponry whatsoever. Not even an ability. The only thing they can use is throwing a satchel. But on a highly mobile Panther, that's not going to hit. He's getting the VP though, and they do have the VP on the left after forcing off the 2 Peregrine squads from Symbiosis. So they're going to continue to drain on the Axis team now down to 68 VPs. Getting close. This Axis team just needs to fight harder. 2 artillery pieces from Anthrax now. They're so durable at Vet 3 apparently. Very durable. Quite evidently.
They're insanely survivable, aren't they? I mean, it's like Vico, you know, watching a Vet 3 Gren for the Fatherland and medkits in green cover, you know?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Oh, nasty Katyusha rockets here. They could catch these Vet 3 P-Grens.
Oh, that's a nice hit. It did quite a bit of health damage, but it didn't actually get a kill. And I believe we have our counter-artillery used. Yeah, on that Katyusha and the Vet 3 mortar from WarBringer. IS-2 on the left-hand side, just chilling out at the VP. He's redirected one of his 2 IS-2s away from the center, which is a very good idea considering they're completely outgunned there.
An incendiary off-map there in the center totally wiped out a P-Gren squad.
The 3 squad is still alive. I can see him on my screen. He's still on the unit tab on the top right-hand side of the corner of the screen. We do have these Vet 3 conscripts now. They're chasing these 2 Panzerwerfers from Symbiosis. And they threw a nice 18-8 on one of them, and I think he's waiting for the cooldown so he can throw another one. He actually throws it on the second the Panzerwerfer and damages his engine.
These Panthers are giving chase to the IS-2 now, getting up very, very close. One more good penetrating hit. It's going to go down.
Oh, getting hit in the rear by the IS-2 from the left-hand side, which has actually come back to the center to help his brother-in-law, which finally gets taken out by these 2 Panzers. But these Vet 3 conscripts, These Vet 3 conscripts, they just won't stop. They're chasing the Panzerwerfer still. There goes one. One of the Panzerwerfers are destroyed, and he's actually most likely gonna decrew and get rid of the veterancy on these LEFH-18 artillery pieces. Oh, it's so close. Vet 3 crew might be going down soon.
Meanwhile, in the center, we had double Panthers of Doom chasing down and killing an IS-2 heavy tank there. They just totally broke through the center here. It was a really great attack. And they even managed to cause an Su-85 to be abandoned there as well. So it could get reclaimed yet, but nobody's going for it.
He's trying to go after the second IS-2 now from IronCross. Oh, that's a nice hit. Oh, the Katusha gets hit from long range by this Panther as the reconnaissance gives line of sight. There it goes! Katusha gets taken out, and the Soviets are looking like the Oster looked in the beginning of this game, completely and utterly contained in their bases.
This IS-2 now forced to back well away, but the Panthers, are they going to give chase? No, they're satisfied. They've fed. They've had their fill for now. They're just gonna wait.
They have tasted blood, however, and they want more, it seems like. But yeah, they're gonna leave it for now and come back at a later time after they've been repaired, most likely.
Yet another IS-2 has been called onto the field now by IronCross. He's really churning them out.
Some nice hits from the Panzer Shreks on the Vet 3 Pigran squad from Symbiosis, but they are forced to retreat after a while after getting some nice hits on the IS-2, so that's gonna extend the time it takes to repair it, but he's just gonna send it in, I think. He might be considering it, I'm not sure.
18A was choked on the elephant there, gonna slow down an even slower tank to begin with.
It is horribly slow at turning, like seriously slow at turning. If you get a circle strafe on, you can kill it with anything at T70.
It's no nimble beast.
No, it's not. It is not. Double bundle nades on these shock troops on the right-hand side VP. Both are mainly dodged. He did a little bit of health damage only to those shock troops, and they are now standing up against these P-grams. More than a match for the P-grams.
They're some tough motherfuckers.
Very, very strong anti-infantry, elite infantry from the Soviet arsenal, but at the same time they have no AT capabilities. Just like the P-grans when they don't have Shreks. They don't have any ability like the normal grans. At least they have this soft counter, the Shrek, to just deter. Just like the conscripts have the 18As. But you know, compared to the GARs, which actually have the PTRS anti-tank rifle, they can do something against armor. If you leave them long enough, if they get enough time to ping away at the enemy armor, they will cause some damage to it eventually. But the shock troops have nothing. They only have anti-infantry capabilities, that's it.
Here come the Vet 3 conscripts into the breach once again, going up against P-grans in point-blank range.
Nice Molotov.
Nice little Molotov, yeah, very nice Molotov. Not dodged either, forcing a retreat straight away.
Yeah, as the P-grans are upgraded with 2 Shreks, that was one of the changes that happened. Was that in the server stress test, or if it was in the end of the closed beta? Yeah. They actually changed it so you can't get 1 Shrek each. So you can't have 1 Shrek and 3 STG-44s. Now you gotta go and make a choice. Get Shreks, you get double Shreks, which basically means you only have 2 STG-44s, and then all of a sudden, especially against PPSH upgraded shock troops or conscripts, they're not that good anymore. Nice Molotov, and it's deep snow. Oh, that's not a Molotov, that's a normal grenade. Takes out one of the 2 Vet 3 Grens from Symbiosis. RIP. Rest in peace, Vet 3 Gren.
Always sad to see a Vet 3 go down.
It also destroyed the campfire, which means they're now gonna freeze to death guarding this VP.
Over here on the right-hand side, we've had an MG set up for... I don't know how long it's been set up here. It's been set up here for a very, very long time. But we got a Panzer Grenadier squad flanking. I don't know if IronCross can see. I don't think he can. The line of sight is so small. And look at that, very nice move there. Who's that? Anthrax, very nice. He went round the side. He knew it was there, jumped the fence. Very, very suave little flank there.
In the MG's defense, he actually he found out the MG was there before in the prior engagement, I think, a little while ago, where he sent one Pigran squad down to get the fuel point and promptly gets suppressed by the solo MG. So he knew it was there somewhere, and he was mostly gambling, most likely, that it hadn't moved. Blizzard is once again over. And the heavy snowing will stop.
VPs are getting very, very close indeed now. Both below 100 VPs for both sides. I don't know. I don't think either side's fate is quite sealed yet, because certainly the Soviets have taken a real beating, but they're far from out of the game. They still have quite a sizable force, and the Ostir have been taking constant casualties as well. So it's still, you know, the triple cap is in play, so it's definitely leaning against the Soviet side, but it's far from over.
Yeah, if you're looking at Symbiosis' army composition right now, he's got one Werfer, the Elephant, and a Broombar now is actually been added to his arsenal as well. So that's going to be good anti-infantry. Might be able to take out these pesky Vet 3 squads, and especially the shock troops, which has no way of defending themselves. But, you know, at the same time, there's an IS-2 on the left-hand side and a Vet 3 mortar now guarding that VP, so the Soviets are easily going to be able to hold on to that at least. So now they just got to either push the Germans out of the center or go for the long haul on the right-hand side and go for that VP. They just need to secure one VP. It's just 30 VPs left for the Soviets and 54 for the Ostir. Here we go, Conscripts Vet 3 charging into the center, and there is basically only AT in the center. Here comes the Broombar. Oh, look at that! Vet 3, goodbye. That took a... Oh, you gotta retreat, those guys! They are heroes of the Soviet army, and they dodged the Broombar shell on retreat. I bet that guy jumped half a feet.
In just one hand and just sort of sprints
just
away.
Leg
like,
it.
Just
look at this Su-85 army that has been amassed on the right-hand side from WarBringer. Now he's moving into the center. He's just ripping this Broombar to shreds on the rare armor. No chance. I've never seen a Broombar taken out so quickly.
Jesus,
getting a nice hit.
Where did these Su-85s come from? This is insane.
Comes the last Ural. Look at the Panther. He's taking quite a lot of damage. He's going to actually force him to backpedal. And here comes an Omna used as well. Off map, I mean.
Elephant knocks out one of them. Is he going to claim a second scalp, though?
This is the problem with the Su-85 against the Elephant. They are not capable of circle striking themselves, as they also have a fixed turret. But this Panther, he might actually claim one Panther kill and a Broombar. There it goes, destroyed, out of control, explodes. But this Elephant is still very, very intact. But he's going after the second Panther, I think. Here comes the Pigras with the Shreks now as well. These Su-85s are being taken out one by one, and it's just one lone one that's been taken out by the Pigran Shreks. We do have an IS-2 moving up on the flank on this Elephant, and look at that horribly slow movement speed right now. But it is Vet 2, and it's gonna be hard for this now alone IS-2 to combat. Epic!
More missile artillery just to really put the boot in.
He's trying to stop the VP. They are capping the right-hand side VP. The Vet 3 conscripts are forced to retreat, and there's not going to be anything else left in the center. The IS-2 is all alone. But on the right-hand side, we do have shock troops claiming the right-hand side VP. The left-hand side is still in Soviet hands, and we do have some Pigrans and a new MG42 from Anthrax. He's actually going to be able to chase off these shock troops, and that might be it. 45 VPs for the German army compared to the Soviet 16 now.
I think what the Soviets do have in their favor is they have these really... Oh my god! An IS-2 just one-shotted a whole Vet 3 Pigran.
Is that a Shrek I see laying there? Was that a Vet 3?
That was a whole Vet 3 squad right there.
Whoa! The IS-2 gets taken out by the Elephant at long range though. Retaliation, but he did lose an infantry squad. That's less capping power for Symbiosis.
Where's that Vet 3 conscript? I want to see him grab that Shrek.
I think it's back reinforcing in the base. I'm not exactly sure. The middle VP is going to be claimed by the Soviets just as the right-hand side VP falls to the Axis side. Here we go, stopping the drain. 41 for the Germans, 15 for the Soviets.
This Panther's moving back and forth, back and forth.
He's trying
to stop the cap. but it's a fruitless endeavor.
What a nice rifle nade use on those Vet 3 conscripts. They are forced to retreat due to that explosion. Everything is flooding into the center from the Soviets now. They need to stop this drain. Was that a bundle nade?
That was a huge bundle. Yeah, that was a huge bundle.
On the right-hand side, though, we have a stolen MG42 guarding that fuel, and we have a shock troop squad going up at the VP. It's going to go the long way around and hopefully try to catch this MG. The Pigran squad, Vet 2, which only had one man remaining after eating one of the grenades from the shock troop squad. The MG just gets the suppression off, but he actually retreats.
In the center, there was another use of the incendiary off-map there to force away the remaining infantry. So these conscripts are back, oh no, not conscripts, sorry, shock troops, back into the thick of it, trying to reclaim this center.
This Panther is so damaged, but there's nothing to polish him off. Nothing at all. I don't see any AT capabilities whatsoever. Did he pick up the
another
Shrek?
IS-2. There's another IS-2, but he's just chilling out on the left-hand side.
Yeah, he's guarding that. There we go. The shock troops actually pick up the Shrek, gets a nice hit on the Panther. I believe he got a frontal penetration on it. Did a little bit of damage. And the Soviets...
drain has been stopped at 8 VPs.
8 VPs compared to the German army's 41. This is a doozy of a game. Very close. Who's gonna win, Tommy?
I think
who's gonna win? Come on, clairvoyance.
Sort of, one side has loads of anti-infantry, one side has loads of anti-tank. It's
bizarre.
It is bizarre. It's a weird mishmash. I have no idea, honestly. Obviously, the Soviets, all they need is just a little lapse in concentration, and they're gonna go down. But equally, all they have to do is to get just I don't know, some AT out there.
Anthrax tried to go for the easy move on the left-hand side. Hopefully that IS-2 might have been the one that died in the center. It was not. IS-2 guarding that forces off the Pigrans. Oh, huge hit in the center. Something just died. Was that the Vet 3 conscript squad?
That was... I think that was... It could have been. It could have been.
I don't see it anymore. I saw it and then I didn't. And now I see corpses everywhere.
Safe to say, I think they were liquidated.
They were indeed. Nice bundle on the shock troops, but it wasn't dodged.
Everywhere. There's another IS-2 being called in, coming into the center now. Getting very, very
nice
close.
Grenade on the... Wow, that did nothing. That was very surprising. Oh, the Shrek bounces on the Vet 2 Panther. Here comes a new broom bar from Symbiosis as well. There we go.
Was here on the right-hand side. MG
IS-2
versus MG with 2 infantry in the middle.
IS-2 takes out the Panther in the center. Panther is finally down, but the Elephant remains. So these two IS-2s, they technically, I think if he pulled it off now from the left-hand side, it would be unguarded, the VP, and that's not really good considering the Soviet team is down to 8. What is this MG Wars on the right-hand side VP?
It is. It's MG Wars.
Oh, the Soviets cheat.
Hit that though.
The Soviets are cheating with this incendiary round, and we do have a Pigran squad. One of them are burning to death on retreat, and the MG gets decrewed. We did have.
Oh no, but there was off-map put down there as well.
That's on-map firing, I think. One of the no, that's an off-map.
Oh, no, down to 3 VPs. If only that squad had stayed there, they might have gotten the decap, but they're not going to get it in time. It's going to run out. It's gonna go down, and it's playback over. It's a win to the Ost here, and what a game.
But what a win as well. They paid with a lot of army units, and my god, that was a good game. That was such a tank battle. That Su-85 rush was just amazing. Taking out one Panther, heavily damaging another one, and then IS-2 comes in to polish off the second one, but that Elephant just would not die.
That Elephant was a real trooper, honestly. I mean, he didn't move a whole lot, but you know, he was really well. He kept, you know, good range. He was never really in danger of going down. Always supported by the Panther group, and I mean, he claimed his fair share of tank scalps there.
Yeah, he destroyed 3 vehicles completely. Got the killing shots on it. I actually haven't seen this before, but if you hover over the kill count, you can now see friendlies killed as well. Something that was never in Vico. That would just add to your kill count, I think, if you accidentally kill your own troops.
So now, like when you're in a random 2v2 game and you're artillerying your teammates to death, they'll have some evidence to use against you.
Yeah, I guess so. It's war crimes, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. Very, very good game. An all-stars game with Symbiosis and Anthrax versus who, Tommy?
Versus IronCross and WarBringer. And if you'll pardon the terrible joke, they did indeed bring the war. Sense. War happened, and there's
War
a guy
happened.
called WarBringer,
And it was brought.
Make something with that.
Yeah, war happened. It was brought to the Eastern Front by a guy named WarBringer. So yeah, that goes.
We'll leave it to your
nicely.
imaginations.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome game. Keep posting them sweet replays. I love this game. It was so good. And this map, Moscow Outskirts, just churns out the best of games.
It
seriously.
makes for great games. Yeah, I dare say it's the best map that they have in the entire game right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I like the look of it, and I like how it plays out. It's awesome. You have a lot of choices. You can go, for the wraparound, which the Soviets did, and then pincer movement into the center, just cut them off. Classic World War II strategy. Works on this map brilliantly. It's very, very good. Thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, tell your friends, like this video, post a comment, do whatever you want. Check out the channel. It's been updated now to the new channel design. Check it out. Check it out on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/the Frontline Network. Peace out. See ya.
See ya.